So I'm back in Ghana and it's around 32 degrees today. I have been finding it a bit hot and it gets more difficult when the power goes off. And it probably took me about 6 months to maybe even a year to really get used to the temperature. And I've always liked hot climates. I've always been much better in hot climates. But now I don't have, like, it's light off now, I don't have any power, so there's not even a fan, and I've just come from 2 degrees or less in the UK to 32 degrees, so this is why I'm doing this video. It's little bits and bobs that I do to sort of kick my body back into dealing with the temperature, and so I don't just feel like... I am going to make another video about light off, so if you live in a country where you're affected by a lot of load shedding or electricity cuts, that will be really useful. It's sort of how to survive it. Step number 1, water. This is Voltic water, mineral water. Look, sounds very obvious. However, if you are sweating, you need to replace the water. And if you sweat and you don't replace the water in your body, you literally just get very tired and disorientated. Just because you drink more water doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sweat more. You're going to sweat anyway because we're made up of, I think it's a silly amount of water. It's probably... I was never good at biology, but I think we're partly like a high percentage of water as a human. So you have to replenish this water, and it's not going to happen by itself. So I drink, these ones are 1.5, are they 1.5? Yeah, 1.5 litres, and I drink about 4 of these a day. When I wake up, the first thing I want to drink is water, because obviously I've been sweating in the night. And then I sort of like sip on one throughout the day, like whatever, like I always make sure that I'm always having my water. And then I'd say it's in the evening I probably drink the most, because in the evening I kind of, before I go to bed, I'm always grabbing one straight out of the fridge, and I know that when I'm in bed, I just like having really cold water on a night, even if it's not even that warm. It's just a very nice, refreshing thing to do. During the day, I just leave this out, and I tend to, when it's the hottest during the day, I tend to drink the water at room temperature. Point number 2 is also about water. So when I used to get really warm, my dad used to tell me to just go to the bathrooms and run your wrists under cold water, under the cold water tap. And he said that it's your veins in this part of your body, they're closest to the skin. So, and as you know, the blood rushes all over your body. If you go to the tap and you put cold water on your wrist, it just automatically, you feel it very quickly. It will sort of like cool you down a little bit if you're feeling that restless sort of heat temperature. It might not stop you sweating straight away, but it will make you sort of, you know, it'll make you sort of calm down a bit, and it'll just instantly lower your temperature. We've got light off at the moment, so the pump doesn't pump to a high pressure around the house. So what I usually do here is to keep the water cold, especially when, you know, the fridge is up and down with the light off. It's really simple. I just fill buckets of water and leave them around the house covered so that, you know, we don't get mosquitoes in the house. And keep them out of the sunlight, and it really cools. It'll cool the water down like you wouldn't believe, even cooler than the water coming from the poly tank that's sat in the sun. I keep it actually in the house, you know, in a darker place, in a covered container. So that'll keep the water cool, and also, apart from putting it just on your wrists, you can take items out of the fridge as well. You could don't go too cold, because I think that'll make you feel rubbish and you might lose feeling in your arm. Don't use frozen peas. But I do use the little bags of water that we have in Ghana, the sachet water, and if they're in the fridge, I'll just pop them on. I'll just pop them on my wrists, and also sometimes my neck if I'm just feeling really like overwhelmed with the heat. Yes, and point number 3 is cold showers. I don't have a choice. I usually always take cold showers because I don't use a water heater here, and I've got so used to the cold showers. I feel like when your temperature is very high, you can sort of nip under the shower, and it might be a little bit cold at first, but once it's sort of on your back and everything and on your shoulders, I think you just have to go with it, and it will really cool you down. I've never had a good time having a hot shower in a hot country, especially, you know, if you've got the air conditioner on in the bedroom, then yeah, it might feel quite cozy. But if you don't, then definitely go for a cold shower. Cooler the better. Even if it's tepid water, it's not freezing, it's not warm, and just literally Dab yourself dry. You don't have to be like completely dry, because, you know, especially if you just bang on some shorts and a t-shirt and you walk around, any sort of water residue on your body will catch the breeze and it might cool you down a bit. I've lost count. Point number 3 is to eat plenty of this stuff. This is a mango. And don't just eat a mango. I'm saying eat plenty of fruit. Here's Mr. Mango. He's great, especially if he's cold. It's very, very refreshing. But a lot of fruits, they have a lot of natural sugars in them that give you natural energy throughout the day. Sometimes people get very sluggish when the temperature's too warm. So eating fruit gives you a nice energy boost of natural sugar, and your body can digest them fairly easily. So it's not working overtime to digest something quite complex. If you eat a lot of fruit, it has a lot of natural water content, which is quite good, especially things like pineapple, mango and oranges, things like that. Fantastic for you to eat. Papaya, I love. What else do we have? Yeah, fruit. My next point is try and avoid to do this. A lot of people in the hot go like this. Now, I don't understand this thing, right? Apart from if you want to show that you're hot. That's something. Because when you're expending your energy by exercising, you know, like when you're freezing cold and you go for a jog, I've never gone for a jog freezing cold, but I can imagine that if you're exercising in the cold weather, your body temperature increases. So it's sort of, you get warmer because you're moving around. It's the basis of kinetic energy. It's a bit pointless because you're spending energy by fanning yourself when, you know, actually if you just stay still, you're sweating. Everybody's sweating. And if you're doing that, it might, you know, make your face feel cooler, but then overall you'll feel a bit hotter. That's just my opinion. I just don't tend to do that too much because I think it wastes a lot of energy. Instead, I try to find a natural breeze and stand in that, so that way you don't have to fan yourself. Mother Nature can do it for you. Or you could always pay, you know, like Greek gods to do it for you. But unfortunately, I don't have that.